I've been involved. I'll tell you what, I'm going to kill them. Okay. Yeah. Is it? Okay. Sorted. We're chairing the Hustings event tonight. So it's great that we've had such a wonderful turnout and such great enthusiasm from everyone here. Just let me know if you can't hear me. I'm doing my best to project my voice. What I would say is a lot of interest tonight, probably born of frustration rather than passion about Glasgow's public transport system or enthusiasm for Glasgow's public transport system. A city of contradictions, really. The city has the third oldest subway system in the world. The UK's largest railway system outside of London, and one of the world's first electric tramways, but also a city that has an entirely fragmented public transport system that has the UK's most intensive urban motorway and expressway system, despite having the lowest car ownership rates of any major city of its size in Europe. And indeed, a subway that still closes at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. So lots of opportunity for improvement, I think we can all agree. And that's kind of the theme of tonight's Hustings. So the brief running order will be that I will invite each of the candidates on the panel this evening to present their views of their party's policies with regards to Glasgow's public transport system, briefly over 2 minutes or so, and then we'll proceed on to a Q&A. And I have to say there's been an extremely good response to our request for questions. We've had no less than 88 questions submitted to the Hustings this evening, so I think that just demonstrates the depth of feeling that exists in Glasgow on this subject. And just to give you a brief breakdown of that, we've had 28 questions on buses alone. So I don't know if that's a reflection of the extent of the dysfunctionality of the bus system in Glasgow, whether it's the service that people rely on the most out of all the different modes of transport in Glasgow. The next biggest was subway with 7 questions, cycling was 4, trains 8, well we also included the Glasgow Airport Rail Link in that, 10 on integrated ticketing, 2 on accessibility, 5 on air quality, 3 on public-private partnerships, 1 on a tourist's experience of Glasgow's transport system, and 20 that were pretty much a general rant about Glasgow's transport system. So we've got a really great cross-section of themes tonight, which we're going to try and get through as quickly as possible. We've obviously got a limited time to get through them all. I would ask, I will invite the person who sent the question in, if they're present, to deliver it from the floor. If they aren't, I will read it out. We'll go down the panel and ask each of the panellists for their opinion on that particular issue, and then I'll open up to the floor for a couple of points. I will ask everyone in the audience to please respect the progress of the debate and not hog the microphone and not rant on for 2 minutes incoherently about something. I know it's an emotional subject for a lot of people, but if we can please try and maintain a bit of discipline so we can make progress. So there's really a lot of really good questions and we want to get through them all as much as possible. So without further ado, I'd like to invite, in fact I'll introduce our panelists first and then we'll go through each of them. So we have here tonight on the panel, to my immediate left, Cathy Milligan, who's an independent candidate, and she represents the Castle Milk Against Austerity organisation. And then we have on the far left, judge for yourself, but the Liberal Democrat candidate, who's Richard Stalley. And then we have, to his right, we have Dr Martin Bartos from the Scottish Green Party, who is was a Bailey in the last council. Is that right? No?
I'm a councillor.
A councillor sat on the SPT board and is also on the planning committee for Glasgow. To my right is Councillor Alistair Watson, who was the former chair of SPT and is a former train driver. And then to his right we have Councillor Kenny McLean from the SNP, who I think has had a lot to say on the SNP's agenda for public transport in Glasgow and some interesting ideas that have been put forward, so we're going to go into that in more detail I think as we go forward. And then to finish us off we've got Matt Dobson from the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, who will be speaking on public transport and obviously the trade union's point of view in particular with regards to public transport. So I'd like to invite Cathy, if you can begin with just giving us a brief idea of what your thoughts are with regards to public transport, and you're welcome to use the microphone.
fight the policies of austerity. I live in a community where the levels of poverty are 90% and our young people are living in poverty to be living in poverty. And the consequences of that is that people are living in despair and fear. And we think that the only way that we can change that is if everybody gets involved and storms up and changes it. And when it comes to public transport, we rely on sticks and it's really quite relying on the first bus and it costs a fortune. There's also the possibility that the job centres are going to be closed to Castle, or we're going to have to go to Newlands, and that's a big impact on the people in Castle as well, because it costs it would cost £4 or something. People are only getting benefits £7 a week, and it's ridiculous that happens. We think that, like everything else, we have the knowledge, the technology to make life better for everybody. But the thing that holds everybody back is the drive for money. People say, oh, there's not enough money for this, there's not enough money for that. But there's loads of money, there's loads of millionaires and billionaires in Britain, and we have to change that. We have to stop. The only way that we can change that is if everybody gets involved. We've decided to stand in the council elections because we think we didn't want just politicians turning up and saying blah, 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 and away doing the same things, because nothing's changed. Didn't matter who we're voting for, nothing's changed. So we are not party political. We believe in people. We think people should get up and stand up and make a difference for themselves. That's the only way things are going to change. Things are getting worse and worse for people, and the whole idea of the public transport, we have the knowledge and technology to be able to make things better, and if we all collected together to do that, instead of leaving it to particular individuals, it's not going to change. So we're trying to rouse people, galvanise people to change things, and that's the only way things are going to change.
By way of beginning, can I tell you that in our manifesto, both nationally and locally, this National Plan Scotland, we have if you're not hearing, okay. Okay. In our manifestos, both for Scotland and for Glasgow, we have committed ourselves to working for a regulated and integrated system of transport, local transport, and we have committed ourselves to work for some form of smart card in order to give the kind of integration so many people want. We haven't committed ourselves very strongly to particular ways of achieving that, but I think the implication of it is that we need to have some kind of local body which does have regulatory powers to supervise transport in Glasgow or in the Greater Glasgow area. We are strongly committed to keeping powers local whenever possible. So we would support most of the suggestions.
Sorry, instead of leaving...
Sorry, oh, I'm not just sorry. We would support most of the suggestions which have been made in your programme. And we see these as important for a number of reasons. One very obvious one is that it's important for the health of the community. But more importantly is the sort of point which the last speaker just made, is that without an adequate system of public transport, a great many of our citizens become seriously disadvantaged. And in this way, if a citizen doesn't have adequate transport, then they're being deprived of really some of the major freedoms which we need in a modern society. So we're in favour of as I said, an improved and integrated system of transport, which does serve all people in all parts of the community.
I'm going to now invite Councillor Alistair Watson from the Labour Party to give his view of public transport needs in Glasgow.
From
to just say a few words about what my party's pledge is in terms of public transport. Public transport, if anything, is even more critically important to cities like Glasgow than it was 20 or 30 years ago. Because there's more vehicles in our road, our air quality is getting poorer, and our public transport, as was articulated at least by one of the speakers, is a disaster. It's almost entirely in private hands, and it's demonstrating on a spectacular scale market failure, and it's far too expensive. So what we need to do is we need to work with the industry, we need to work with government, and indeed work with the whole plethora of parties to deliver a true, integrated, affordable and frequent public transport system that reflects the needs of the users rather than the shareholders of the companies who own most of the public transport. You know, public transport has been about for a fair old while, since early 20th century, or indeed before that, and it's been through many changes. It's been in private hands, it's been in public hands. I think my advocacy is well known. I'm almost a 30-year campaigner for the return of public transport, particularly the buses, to some form of regulatory control. And I know some people in this audience that may disagree with me, but they will know where I'm coming from. And if that means having an argument with my own political party, and I've had these arguments, let me tell you, then I'm prepared to have that argument. So the Labour Party, I can assure you, stands full and square behind almost a complete root and branch review of the entire public transport system and a far greater say in its direction by members of the public. Thank you.
As a regular user of public transport, I can bear witness to the fact that our public transport system in Glasgow leaves a lot to be desired. However, tonight I was quite fortunate. 77 came very quickly in Partick, and all took about 10 minutes. So they get it right sometimes. The situation we have currently is a legacy of policies of many years gone by, where we're left with a largely private, unregulated transport system. I'm happy to say that the policy is looking at developing public sector options. I know there may be legislation coming from the Scottish Parliament that will give the ability for a public sector option for railways and a public sector option for the buses. I mean, the bus system in Glasgow is pretty much a disaster. Communities are being cut off. I find it quite often. I live in the west end of Glasgow in Partick, and actually we're very fortunate in that area. But however, there's other parts of the city where from the early evening onwards, they're virtually cut off. I find it quite often difficult to travel to see friends, because I use public transport all the time because of the lack of bus provision, certainly after peak hours. So that's something we have to address, and I'm hoping there'll be public sector options coming through legislation. Ideas like smart cards have been mentioned, and that's something that we must look at very soon. I know ScotRail and the subway have some kind of, there's a Bramble card, but I think we really need to develop that and expand it. We need an integrated system which you can use on buses, railways, subways. I'm also looking forward to a review of the area transport agencies like SPT. I would very much like to see many of the powers of SPT has in the Glasgow region coming back to Glasgow City Council, where we can look at the subway. The subway was mentioned previously. The subway has been well over 100 years old. It hasn't expanded a bit since it first came into place. So these are the things we can look at. I'm looking forward to some of these powers coming back to Glasgow, and I'm looking forward to being able to provide a public system in Glasgow that we badly need. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. 2 minutes isn't really enough time to cover much.